Going well, just prepping to attend the event this week.
Well, we have to talk about this amazing event, as I said earlier today, the beginning of the end of geoengineering.
Yeah, the beginning at the end. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it sounds like an amazing conference. Tell us about it. Redding,
Okay.
California, folks. You got to get there, especially if you live around there.
Absolutely.
No
I'm going to put this press release right there now in the chat room, the Skype chat.
Got it.
I'm hearing a lot of echo. I'm not sure who that's on. But anyway, the point is that I'm going to be there, and John B. Wells, Dane Wigington, Alan Buckman, Mark McCandlish, Rosalind Peterson, a neurologist, I don't have his name in front of me, and also another, I believe, former, like a retired person in whether it's Fish and Game, et cetera. It's biologists who have been taking samples of soil, water, air, et cetera, over the last, decade. And so we're going to be having these amazing people talking about the real state of the globe at this time. And Dane, of course, has a PowerPoint presentation. John B. Wells will be hosting as an MC for the event. And then afterwards, we're going to have a panel, question and answer panel. And it will be truly amazing. My husband's going to speak as a member of the legal team, which is getting ready to file legislation against the powers that be to stop geoengineering in its tracks. And if it doesn't happen instantaneously, the beauty is that when it's filed in, say, federal court or wherever they're choosing to file it, that's when the media has to start covering it, whether they like it or not, because, they're not going to be able to deny that something has been filed in federal court. And so that's really impressive. It's funny. My husband and I used to argue about looking up in the sky, and I would glitch. I was this weird glitch person. I'd be like, "Look, there's a chemtrailer. There's a chemtrailer," and we couldn't enjoy our afternoon drives. And he really thought I was crazy. And then all of a sudden, over the course of a lot of slight padding and slight padded information to him, he's finally come on board. And now I've got him on the legal team. I mean, if you're going to marry the devil, why not get him to do the truth? So yeah, the event is Friday night in Redding, California, August 14 at, the doors open at 4 p.m. Pacific at the David Marr Auditorium that is, in Redding, California, which is part of Shasta County, by the way. And so for about 2.5 hours, there will be a meet and greet, whether you're press, whether you're new, whether you're not, and a lot of people meeting and exchanging information before the event. The event starts at 6:45 with John B. Wells as the MC, giving basically a statement in his brain, which is amazing, by the way. Let's just talk about that, about the state of the globe and the current catastrophic moment for humanity. And so, doom and gloom for sure, but it'll be a really great get together. Unfortunately, the premise of the entire evening is to talk about the end of the world and how we can, fix that quickly by ending aerosol spraying in the skies. So it's going to be a really informative, amazing event. If anyone is nearby, or if you've got a few extra dollars in your pocket and you're wondering what to do over the weekend, why don't you fly into Redding? And there's still some lodging available. However, I will mention that because of the huge amount of California wildfires that has happened over the past few weeks, there is a voucher program where people can, take a voucher that they get at some type of headquarters where they've been forcefully evacuated, which hopefully is subsiding at this point. But there may be trickling effects into Redding regarding that. So if you are planning on coming, I would highly recommend going on to, some version of a travel, an online travel agent of sorts and book your rooms quickly, because there will be a lot of people in town with, evacuee status. So there's that. I think that's it.
Right. Yeah. A lot of the extra rooms are going to be booked. People escaping these fires.
Well, I don't think it's going to be completely packed. I was able to get a room a few weeks back. I booked it with my husband, and we're going to be staying. So we're getting there actually tomorrow afternoon. I have the privilege and honor of dining with John B. Wells, Dane Wigington, my husband, and I believe other entities, other people that are huge in the cause. So we're going to be getting together and having a powwow the night before. Then the next day on Friday in the morning at 9:30. A few of us got together and made stuff happen. And it turns out that John B. Wells is going to be on the local TV station doing an in-house interview at the Channel 7 Reading News facility. And then Mike Mangus, who is going to be conducting the interview, will be attending the event as well. He's going to get there a little late as he gets off the air at 7 p.m. and we'll be there about 7:15. And so it's going to be crazy awesome question and answer panel event happening. I just know that we're all going to we're all going to walk away a little wiser. And then hopefully be able to spread that information to all of those that we know, because it is a global issue and it literally could be the key factor in the depopulation of humanity as well as other forms of wildlife, etc. I think I'm done.
Well, that's a great summary, Angela.
Thanks.
Beautiful summary. Just one quick little question here, because I want to get to my amazing guests. Do you have anything to do with the fact that John B. Wells is the MC for the event?
I do not, but I am in that little, group of people. So no, I did not affect that. However, I am certainly going to be utilizing that connection to further awareness on every level, and it'll be really nice to have a powwow with people that I respect on this level. As you know, and I bring it up often on this show, how much I respect you and what you do for solution, problem solving, who your guests are, etc. So for me to meet with other people of your caliber, my caliber, although I'm not sure if I qualify, but of a high caliber. Of a high caliber, it's going to be really rewarding for me, even though the premise is, of course, talking about the end of the world. So, yeah. But Ken Keeling, by the way, K2, is quite instrumental in putting all this together. I met Dane through Ken. I met John B. through Ken. So just an amazing shout out to Ken Keeling. Also Ralph E. Lee, Lori Bridgeford, a woman named Daphne. There's a Kimberly Steele. Some amazing people that are working their tail ends off to making sure this event happens smoothly. It's amazing to watch people come together and make something happen. It's just very rewarding.
Well, it's the beginning of the end, as I said, and this, I just have a really good feeling about this event, and I think Dane's. I'm so impressed with Dane. He was my first guest.
He was your first guest, yeah,
on my show, and I just let him have it. I said, Dane, you got to improve in this area. You got to try this. You got to try that. Every suggestion I made to him, he's incorporated into his strategy. Now he's talking about all the other planet killers, connecting them with geoengineering. It's just beautiful. I'm so impressed with this guy. He learns so fast.
And a lot of
people, I'm sure he's learned from others too. This guy is a superstar.
Yes.
Along with, I'm sure, many of the other guests. But I'm so impressed with you, Angela. I'm blown away by the fact that you got your husband involved.
Yeah.
I think one of the strategies to defeat this is through the legal system.
Yes.
Hey, one
last note.
Too beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm definitely humbled and honored to be a part of it. One last tidbit is that, a lot of people want to take Dane down, or they want to try to take Dane Wigington down. They want to call him a shill. They want to call him a plant. And what's interesting is that this man, who was a former employee of Bechtel Corporation and had built his own ranch with a solar energy fuel
off the grid.
Yes, he noticed that the dimming of the skies was affecting energy output. And, he's a man with a family, a couple of young children, et cetera. And so what I've watched, as I've become aware of this plight, of this last stand for humanity. I don't find Dane to be a taker on any level. I find him to be nothing but out of pocket and just a true pioneer and one of the saints, I think, on the planet. And he'd probably beg to differ, but I will say that it's very funny to me to watch paid shills, paid trolls try to take Dane down. I have an interview with him on my YouTube channel, and I watch people say things and as if he's some profiting or profiteering person who is on this mission. But no, truly, there's no profit involved. He has, as he mentioned the other day on Aries, spent his entire retirement fund on this campaign. He didn't expect to be in this fight, and thank God he's there on this planet. And I just want you all to please go to geoengineeringwatch.org, because it's incredibly important to find yourself informed and do your own research, people. I mean, literally, if you're unaware, maybe you don't get sprayed a lot in your skies. I do. I see it pretty much 3 to 5 times a week. And the levels and concentrations of different spraying concentrations, compounds is really, really noticeable. And get the word out there, people. Just do your own research and go to geoengineeringwatch.org and find yourself, unfortunately, in a very, very deep rabbit hole. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you for asking me, Brian.
Well, I mean, it's like I say, it's an important event. But I should get to my guests.
And what great guests you have.
Extremely honored to have Twodog and Threecrow, two incredibly wise people in the ways of our, I think, the most enlightened people who ever existed on the planet, our Aboriginal people, the people that were horribly oppressed and continue to be so on Turtle Island, which is the real name of North America, in my opinion. So I'd like to introduce Twodog and Threecrow. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Thank you.
Twodog.
Doing good.
All right.
Ilamaya, and I want to say thank you very much for inviting me. I am not as you gave great accolades there, thank you so much, but in my humble way, I just share my experiences and a little bit that I do know, and do my best to, to share these kinds of things. I always tell people that that just take what sings to your heart spirit and leave the rest. So we share a lot, and Twodog and I, Chief Charles Twodog and I, have been on shows a lot together. And he's my cousin. So here we are. It's good to be with you again, Twodog.
I do need to give a quick shout out, by the way, to Tracy Kennedy in chat right now, who's an amazing host here at Revolution Radio and familiar with both of you.
We love Tracy, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, I'm really glad to hear that she's with us. Awesome. Okay, so why don't we start with the origin of your names?
I would.
Go ahead,
Well,
Twodog.
first off, I would like to say to my sister Tracy out there, Sagali's kind of good, and I love you, girl, and you keep doing what you're doing. And yeah, go ahead, Brian.
As I was saying, the origin of your names, Twodog and Threecrow.
Threecrow, you want to start with yours, or you want me to go?
Well, yes, I'll start. Well, I have, of course, I have my, tell you a little bit, first of all, that I'm Nanticoke, Lanape, Delaware, and Celt. I'm Métis. And my tradition is Lakota. So I have a Lakota spiritual name, Huichichilo Tunkaho Tawian, and but my name, Barbara Threecrow, came to me because I saved the lives of 3 crows. And so it's a long story, but it's the way spirit works in strange ways to bring things all in alignment for something so amazing to happen. And excuse me, so that's how that name came to me in that manner, because I had this encounter with three crows who were trapped in a house, an abandoned house. But the way that I got to that abandoned house was quite a long journey by going to Mexico. And the abandoned house was in the Berkshires in Massachusetts. So it's a roundabout story, and the way the web works, the way our journeys work, and spirit guides us in certain ways. And then every little part of our journey is significant if we pay attention. And so that's how that came about. I happened to be invited. I met someone in Mexico on a trip there, and she was from New York, and I met her, and we became friends, and she invited me up for any weekend that I wanted to go up to her little cabin in the Berkshires just to relax. And randomly, I picked a weekend, and then I was there, and next door was this abandoned house. I'm giving you a quick down run here. And early in the morning, I'd go sit outside and just sit there and relax and read a bit. And I'd hear this tapping, this tap, tap, tap going on. And I'd looking around, wondering what the heck is that? And it caught my attention and my curiosity. And I was pretty much very strongly guided to go to the abandoned house next door. And I noticed that the doorway that had been boarded up was broken, and I bent under and went up inside, and the stairs, everything was messed up and plaster all over the place and was quite silent. And I was guided to go upstairs, and I went up the stairs to the hallway, and I went left. There were rooms on the right. I went to the left farthest room, and I kind of peeked in. And there were three crows sitting right there, standing on the floor looking at me, and they were overlooking me sitting in the chair outside when I was out there. And I quickly pulled back because I didn't want to startle them, and I went down the other side of the hall, opened up the window in the other room, and I went back outside, sat down, and just a few minutes later, they all left that house and circled around, calling, gratitude. And my experience with crows has been since I was a child. And that was just one episode with crows, many episodes with crows. They're called Kangiwik in our language. And so the name was given to me because of my experience with them. Now, it was quite an amazing thing. I have no idea how long those crows were in that house. Were they real? Were they spirit crows? Could be, because my friend was not in her house. She was only there occasionally. Anyway, that's how I received that name. And the other name, spiritual name in Lakota, came to me through an elder who told me, in the way of the tradition, that the ancestors needed to come here and do some work. And so 4 ancestors were going to come into the nipi, or what people call it, a sweat lodge, inside that lodge. And I was going to pick one of them. I was told to pick one of them that would be with me, walk with me for the rest of my life. And that's how that Greystone woman, it's a sacred name that I'm sharing here and with you. And that's how that name came to me.
Beautiful story.
Lanape.
We're all connected, right? We're all connected to nature and all its wonders. Beautiful. Okay, Twodog, your name. Where did that come from?
This name that I have, my brother, comes from my grandfather. And also, my name is connected also with the Dog Star series. So, it's kind of like you have 2 stars in front of the dog star, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
So basically, it's like you have 2 spirits but 1 dog. Like 2 dogs. In other words, I'm like a dog and a wolf at the same time. Just kind of like, double spirit. You know what I'm saying?
I think I got it. Yeah. So
In other words, I'm like the dog on the porch. I love my family. I love everything. It's just don't kick what I love. No, you will not see the wolf. Basically that way.
I got you. You'd love my dog Patches. He's if every human being was as enlightened as him, we'd have no problems. I can assure you that. So
Right.
Threecrow, I just got it. Just
I understand that, but that's where my name came from.
Another beautiful story connected to the stars. Everything is connected. So, Threecrow, we don't have a lot of crows around where I'm living right now.
Where do you live?
I'm living near Toronto. Evidently, the West Nile virus came here and killed them all.
Oh, the government again, eh?
So, what does that mean? Does that represent anything spiritually, or is it, you think it's just like, why haven't they come back?
Well, crows are very smart. Very, very smart, very intelligent. All animals have intelligence. All animals have that intelligence. The crows specifically are very, very smart. And they've learned to be very wary of human. They've been persecuted, terribly throughout history of when the Europeans came. Even today, farmers put poison out for them. They shoot them. As they do with any kind of creature that they feel is going to bother them, or they don't understand it, or maybe going to mess with their chickens or something. But they just so animals learned very early on when the European people came here to be wary of them. We call the two-leggeds, of course. We're two-leggeds, so crows are very smart. So, the West Nile popped up, in a puddle in Manhattan somewhere, something like that, if I could recall right. Just like all these strange things pop up suddenly out of nowhere. Well, you have to question that. I do. Why do these things suddenly pop up and then it becomes an epidemic, like, Morgellons and the West Nile, and you have the various other things, the problems that people are going on. Now we have the plague in Colorado, and we have Legionnaire's disease popping up again in New York. 10 people already, or somewhere in the Bronx there, it's 10 people already dead, and all these things just pop up every once in a while. AIDS, it's very suspicious to me. I listen very closely. I pay attention, and we have to do that. And you feel what's going on. You don't think about it. If you feel, you listen and you feel, you'll get a message, and it will tell you the truth of things. And these days we know there's a lot of messing around with us by various, groups of government people and scientists and so on. We have to listen and pay attention and see how these things were being assaulted, and the creatures are being assaulted, and the Mother Earth. So when these things pop up, I always listen and feel, what is it? And I get the message. Most things today, unfortunately, are very suspicious, out of the blue. And then you have the EPA releasing by mistake pandemics, sending them all out to the Pentagon and so on and so forth. How can that be a mistake? And then they say just a few, and then the next report is, it wasn't a few, it was more than a few, by mistake. And then you have the reports that we know now of the, of how they released viruses and various other things upon the people in Great Britain as well as the United States. And they used our soldiers for experiments, on and on and on. We could go on and on and on. So I listen to what's going on, meaning I feel. I don't think about it because our mind gets in the way. And you have to look behind what you're being shown on the media, because there's always something. The truth is always behind the false front. And so the crows, it's just like the ravens, for instance. The ravens are not very much in this area either, but the ravens and crows were all over. And why wouldn't they be up there, except that they've been probably poisoned. And they get smart. The creatures know what's going on. They're very smart, and they get very wise. And they probably figured, well, this is not a place where we need to be. We need to go further away from civilization, further out or hidden, or places where there aren't so many people that are going to do this to us. So that's how I look at things. Thank you.
Well, it makes sense to me. I mean, there's no shortage of crows up in Ottawa. It's another place I hang out a lot. It's about 300 miles from Toronto, and holy cow! I mean, they're well represented up there, and I think it's a sign. It's just a healthier biosphere, part of the biosphere, up in Ottawa, and it's there's a lot more trees there. It's just it's better connected to Pachamama. Not to say that there aren't issues in Ottawa, and there's definitely issues everywhere. We have settled and disrupted the natural way of things that your people started, and I believe was a much more advanced way of living here. 1,200 different cultures living pretty much in harmony. A few problems, but you weren't creating bioweapons, and you weren't creating all these other toxins that we're dealing with. So we got to get back to the Aboriginal ways, is my opinion. So it sounds like we're coming up to break, folks. So we'll be back soon with I'm Nature and my special guests, Twodog and Threecrow. Welcome back to I'm Nature. Brian Porter, your host here today, and I have Threecrow and Twodog on as my special guests. And they also have their own radio shows, and I thought, heck, I should give them a chance to talk about where they're doing their shows and what their shows are about.
Yeah, I'm on Mondays on awakeradio.us and also awakeradio.uk on Turtle Talk. Yeah.
And what do you talk about on Turtle Talk?
I talk about everything. I talk about a lot of talk about prophecy. I talk about what's going on in the world, in sort of like the phenomenon that people call phenomenon as truth. The real world, what is really here, who we really are, where we really come from, what's really going on, what's the bigger picture in relation to the prophecies and the timeline that we are in right now and so on. Things like that.
Wow, beautiful. Okay. And Twodog, what's your show about? What's it called?
I do a show with Tracy Kennedy on turtleeyenews.info called The Heart Drum. That's on Fridays, 3 to 5 EST. And I also do a show on Awake Radio US, Awake Radio UK. It's also called Tribal Voices. And basically what we do is try to bring other brothers and sisters from other nations, and we have also had the Māori from New Zealand, and all indigenous cultures to let them tell what's going on their nation, and how things are and what there is reality. Because in America, mainstream media, they don't talk about us.
Well, yeah, that's precisely true.
And the troubles that we do have.
Yeah.
We also have oftentimes we're on Twodog, and myself and Tracy and Patty Walking Turtle are on the Brain Gym. That's on Sundays on Awake Radio, same thing, .us or .uk. And then after that, we're often on with Gerald Whitehorse Standing, the Cree elder up there in Saskatchewan, with other elders up there. And it's all a lot of good, really good information. And, of course, they're talking, too, about their treaty rights and land rights and various other things that we talk about, the elite and the cabal and the workings of the puppeteers, what they're doing and so on and so forth on that show, too. On the Brain Gym, we go into lots of different things, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, how well connected is the indigenous native community in North America or in Turtle Island?
Well, I'll just say that I think that they are probably more connected now, probably because of technology, and that's one good thing. Like, the radio shows that we're on, Awake Radio, and I Have Something to Say with Gerald Whitehorse Standing, is broadcast all over the world. And there are on the that one Twodog that you're on with Masu. There's a woman there from the Maori, right? And they bring in people. For instance, they had a guest from Russia, who are tribal nations there in Russia. So all over the world now, we have the ability to communicate and to share the knowledges. And there's many other people of Turtle Island and South America, the nations down there, all over, have been coming together because of prophecy. Prophecy really has designated all nations, specifically the First Nations people, will be coming together to fulfill certain prophecies.
Are you thinking of the Rainbow Warrior prophecy?
Well, there is the Rainbow Warrior prophecy, but there's the Eagle and the Condor prophecy. That was pretty much the first prophecy that really began to be, to rise up in the awareness of people. And many of the indigenous people, the First Nations people, have fulfilled that prophecy over and over and over again now. And yes, the Rainbow Warrior prophecy is a very important prophecy. That involves all of us, all people, black, red, yellow, and white. Because we are all tribal people. We were all our brothers and sisters. My family, part of my people came from Europe. And many people who live here on Turtle Island, their ancestry is from Europe and Africa and various other places. We're all tribal people. Our people, your people, before organized religion, before the system started to be set up, were tribal people. Close to the earth. They lived in tribal ways. They had sacred fire. They had ritual and ceremony. We called them earth people. We're all earth people, but they were more in relationship to the way the First Nations that we know of today. All people, whether you have a white heritage, yellow, doesn't matter. All your people are First Nations people, tribal people, before the mess started to control everybody. So the people in Europe, for instance, our brothers and sisters there, We have a word, we say Matakuye Yasin. It means we are all related. It doesn't just mean us people. It means we're related with everything, everything. Everything in creation we are related to. Very powerfully related to. Not just we like the trees. Oh, no, we're related to the trees because there's a living spirit in the tree. And so the people in Europe, relatives in Europe, they were hit first with the elite agenda to take down the way of the original. We call it the Creator's Law, or Law of the Land, the Law of One. Law of One, meaning we are all one. We were all one people. We were not separated people. And so before that agenda started to be set up by the elite, the cabal, whatever. We have many names for them. Before that happened, they all lived in the same way as the people here on Turtle Island, all in community, tribal, clan mother system. It's the clan mother system, the matrilineal system, that was held throughout pretty much all of the First Nations people throughout the world. You can refer to it as in the European way as the goddess, a goddess, but it's still the mother. It's sacred mother. And it's the women, of course, the tribal women, the First Nations women that were revered and respected, important. Some of them were chiefs. Some of them were warriors. Twodog, I know, has a lot to say on this because we both were given pretty much the same prophecy about this time we are in is about the return of that sacred feminine, sacred masculine. It means tribal consciousness. So I'll just say that, and then Twodog, I know, has a lot to say on that too.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yes, I do. Let me go with like this. Number one, I would like to let you know that in my nation, our Metro-Oracle Society has been brought back 110-fold. Basically, I may be the chief of this nation, but truthfully, I'm just a spokesman. And if anything goes down, I have to step in front of my clan mothers. If anything happens or I have to do something, I sit with my clan mothers. I sit with the women, the life givers, the sacred feminine. Here's the point, ladies and gentlemen, for all the women that are listening and for the two women that are on the show. If I don't do this, the spirit of my grandfather will come down and kick me in the head. So I wish to do this. So what I would like to say to all the women here, black, white, yellow, red, around the world, me as a man, me as a warrior, you do the same the Earth Mother does. You clothe us, you feed us, you give birth, just as the Earth Mother does. You are the sister to the earth. And it is up to me as a man to bow to you, because without you there would be no nations upon our mother. So I wish to do that now. And one other thing is to understand the grandmothers. They're there. They have the wisdom. The elders, they have your wisdom. The women are the life givers of your nation, and your children are the next generations. We don't look at just one generation. We look at 7 generations up from us. So truthfully, we're just borrowing this land for our children. Now, as far as all the nature itself, I'm no better than an ant that is walking on the ground. I'm no better. I am part of this nature. The problem we've gotten is that they're filling us full of fear.
Did we lose Twodog?
Maybe. I heard something weird. Sounds like it.
Yeah, he said his connection.
Yeah.
It's a bit iffy.
I'll continue if you want.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Until he gets back on.
Where he left off.
Because this is a very important time that we are at, as many of you know. We've reached a tipping point. We're living prophecy right now. We are in prophecy, prophetic time. And it's not just First Nations prophecy, it's biblical prophecy and so on and so forth. All First Nations people speak about this time as a very crucial time, but that over 20-some years ago, the elders started talking to us saying, find your land, find your people and your gardens and your water, because you will not be able to survive alone. You will not have water. You will not have gardens if you don't do this now. That was over 20 years ago. And, many of us have received this guidance and prophecy about where we were heading. And we are at that point now. But, we knew this was coming, but, it's so rapid now. It's escalated so severely now. But it's an amazing time, too. It's a powerful time, amazing time. The point is that we can't be in fear. That's going to just spin us around, and that's what those people, if you want to say the elite or the cabal, who are messing with things, we could call them the mad scientists. They're owned by greed, which is evil. They can't stop themselves, but they are also our brothers and sisters. So, I pray for them, too, because I can't say, well, we're all related, but not those people, because they're doing bad stuff. We all have the capacity to do bad stuff and screw up, and we're all a part of this. It's not them and us. We are all stressing the Mother Earth. We all have to change way. We have to come up with a new way of thinking about where we are and what we're doing here. Every one of us, not just those that we look at and point the finger at. So we're really living in miraculous time. We have to have faith and hope and know, basically, that Creator, the Mother, Father, Creator, created this earth and each one of us out of love. And this is a great school. I call it a great school. We're here to learn. What are we learning? I feel we're to be learning how to come together as all people, as children of the earth, as we were originally. We're so separated, and there's a lot of hate and prejudices. And that's part of their agenda. We have to know clearly what their agenda is and why they are against, for instance, the grandmother system, why they deliberately started chipping away at the tribal consciousness, which is a connectedness to Creator and the Mother and all of life, all of creation. And knowing yourself, it's sort of like when you know your oneness, when you understand that you are one with everything, with the universe and all that is created, you find a peace inside of you. Something starts to happen to you. There's no judgment. There's no anger. And this is where they want us. The media is a brainwasher. They're brainwashing us. The education system is brainwashing us from the time we're little to be consumers, to be the sheeple, to not think for ourselves. So we have to step outside into nature. Nature is the healer. When you go there, you're making relationship with your natural origin, your fundamental nature, who you really truly are. And the love that you all have for the Mother Earth. Of course, we have that love, and you're fighting for her, which is beautiful. I hear you're getting together and doing lawsuits, and people are pulling together and talking about the atrocities upon the Mother and upon humanity that are happening. That's a good thing, but the one important thing we cannot overlook is our spiritual self, our spirituality. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about the spirit within us and the spirit within all of creation and the Creator, whether you call Creator God or Mother or Yahweh, or in our way we call Wankantanka. It does not matter because it's the same. It's only one Creator. And our relationship gives us peace, our faith and strength and power and courage. Our spirituality gives us that, and nothing can affect you. Nothing when you have that strength. You are the warriors. We talk about the rainbow warriors. That's what that means. Rainbow warriors are all people, all color coming together, waking up and saying, yeah, this is serious. We're in trouble. We're heading into deep waters, very deep waters. And yes, we need to sign petitions. We need to do lawsuits. We need to do all that. But your personal spiritual work is so powerful because it changes the frequency of everything. We're talking about the frequency, the energy, because everything has an energy and a life force. When you align with a higher force of light, that gives you a power and protection and courage and strength. So the Rainbow Warrior prophecy is unfolding. We see that. The prophecy that says we are entering into the fifth hoop, 1,000 years of peace. We haven't fully gotten there yet. We're leaving the fourth world of chaos. And you know, when you want to heal, when you want to leave something that has been so deeply rooted and embedded and has its claws in you, it's going to get really pissed off. It's going to get angry. It's going to hang on, and it's going to accelerate. And you see it. We see acceleration of madness, of insanity, of the pollutions, of the assaults. That's what that's about. Because there's that fear of the light. There's the fear of the love that we all have for each other, for the mother, our grandchildren, our children, and all creation. So, just want to say that. Is Twodog back?
Oh. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back, Threecrow. I'm right here. I hope you got what I said. I don't know what exactly happened, but if you didn't, you wish for me to go back over this.
You ended up on the issue around the present mainstream understanding of politics, of the world, is trying to create fear in everyone.
Yes. Number one, as far as you put political situation, as far as like America, Kanakota, as far as Canada is concerned, or any of it, I can speak for America's side of Turtle Island on this. You are basically being bombarded. And what I mean by bombardment is don't do this, don't do that, don't go over here. If you go over here and do this, you got somebody with a badge and a gun watching you here. Well, don't go there because if you do this, it's that fear factor that they're throwing at you constantly that takes away from the connection of who and what we truthfully are here on this mother. We're part of this mother. Just as the ant is, the tree is, the winged, the four-legged, the fishes in the waters. We're the same. We're part of this nature made by God, Jesus, Buddha, Wakantanka, Gitchimaitu, whatever which you name that you call him. If the Creator put you here and you breathe, you walk this earth, then you're part of this earth. You're not here to destroy what you see. You're here to we're caretakers. You cannot own what you walk on. In the word of Teshukawiko, as far as Crazy Horse is concerned, you cannot own what you walk on. In the end, truthfully, she owns you. Now, what I say was, whatever religious way you want to walk, whatever spiritual way you walk, upon this mother. Understand, brothers and sisters, that every step we take on this mother that we walk on, it's just however we hold a one-on-one relationship with Creator.
All right, Twodog. That was awesome, and we'll be back soon with more of I'm Nature and my special guests, Twodog and Threecrow. Back in a minute, folks. Welcome back to I'm Nature. I am your host, Brian Porter, and I have two special guests, Threecrow and Twodog, with me. Two people very connected to native wisdom. And right now, this is the time in my show when I usually do my fundraising appeal for Revolution Radio. Revolution Radio is the most popular web-based platform on the internet, on the planet, and we are popular and we are well listened to because we have great supporters. The support has to keep flowing in, folks. And I usually like to talk about the importance of subscribing to the archives. $5 a month. You get access to 80 different programs. Some of them, are dealing with strictly with politics, economics. Some of them are dealing with native wisdom as well. I deal a lot on my show with fighting for Pachamama, trying to save the planet. It's good for us spiritually and whatnot. That's the main topic about what we're talking about today. So if you believe in these issues, if you want to support a great place, the real information of what's actually happening on this planet, you've got to find, $5 a month or whatever you can dish out there, folks, to support this amazing platform. Freedomslips.com on your browser, and Revolution Radio Studio A and B. Now, let's get back to our special guests, Twodog and Threecrow. So we left off. I actually threw this out in the chat there. And what do you guys think about the fear of death? Is that being used too to keep us in line by the dark forces right now that have far too much influence on this planet?
I'm going to pop in because I might need to leave in a few minutes. Only because I might need to leave in a few minutes. Yes, I agree. I think that certainly they're putting the fear of everything in us. And that's where we have to be very careful. And, in the way of the First Nations people, there was no fear of death, And I think we have to reconcile with that because, a lot of organized religions really don't help the people understand that there is a journey that we are on when the spirit leaves our body. And in the way of the First Nations people, I think pretty much that was understood, and there was no fear of that. It's another pathway that we take. It's a transition. And I also want to say, speaking of transition, that this is not the end of the world, what we're looking at. The Mother Earth will be here. She's going to be fine. It's the people that we need to help. We need the people to be strong in their faith and also to stand up for the mother and the next coming generations and to let their voices be heard through unity against what the cabal is basically doing, the elite, what their plan is, the Agenda 21 plan. If you don't know about that, you don't want to Google Agenda 21. You want to find out what it is that is really going on, because everything affects everyone. We're all in this together, and we are not in the end of the world. The end of the world is not happening. We're in transition into a new paradigm, a new world. This is really meant to be the age of enlightenment, where we come into the light within us. It's sort of like the light bulb comes on inside of us, and we go, aha, wait a second. I know the truth now. I know the truth of myself and my brothers and sisters and my origins and the sacredness of everything and the power that I have. This is what this time is about, this new world, fifth hoop. And if we don't come into alignment with the higher vibration of light and love and compassion, where are we going to be then? We're going to be dragged back into the fourth world, which is the fear, negativity, and doubt, and hatred, and violence, and prejudices, because we need to turn around and leave that behind us and work towards raising our light, shining our light. And that is through unity, compassion, love. I'm talking about all these things we understand, but what we need to know is that these are vibrational frequencies that align us with something so far greater than we could ever imagine. And the new world, the new paradigm, the fifth world is about that frequency. And the mother is shifting into different frequencies. So we need to, in order to be here and move through this flow of new world, a fifth hoop, this transition, the new paradigm, we're leaving everything that was set up by the dominator patriarchy rule behind us. And we're renewing the time of the sacred feminine, sacred masculine, where there is unity, the tribal consciousness, and respect. So I just wanted to say that, just in case I have to pop off here quickly and leave you all. Thank you. Pilamaya.
Thanks, Threecrow.
Pilamaya. One of the things about what she just said, as far as being a warrior, Brian, I can say it like this. As far as myself, we're only on this earth walk for a short time. Only on here for a short time. But we all know that whatever they do to you, the earth is going to take your body, but your spirit will continue. It will move on. So that's the reason I say, with what I do for my people, you can kill me if you want, but my spirit will continue. So being afraid of something, what for? We're going to do it anyway. It's going to happen. So, where there is life, there is death. Where there is, every action has equal reaction, no matter what.
Yeah, Twodog, do you think that people who die a heroic death, people who are great warriors and fighting against this oppressive forces, do you believe that they stay with us and help us from the other side?
Yes, I do, very much. I have one with me now. Mm-hmm. I do believe that the ones that, all peoples in a lot of ways, you have to look for number one with the First Nations, all the First Nations. Every nation on Turtle Island has had some kind of horrific thing happen. So there's spirits that still walk this earth. Some roam this because they don't feel their time is up. But there is always something that has happened that the spirits do remain here.
Before you continue,
some remain as spirit tempers.
I'm just going to, sorry to come in on you, but I have to leave now in this moment. And I just want to thank you so much for having me on, Angela and Brian, and Twodog too. Sorry to run so quickly. This was unexpected, and I appreciate so much this opportunity. Pilamaya.
All right. Thanks so much, Threecrow. Your words of wisdom are much appreciated.
Doksha.
Doksha.
Getting back to what we were saying here, Brian, is number one, what I'm here to do, like I said, I live in a metro-oracle society. It's different than what modern society is. Modern society is done
explain that term? Twodog, can you explain that term, metro-oracle?
Well, metro-oracle, I will say it like this, brother. This is how this goes. Metro-oracle society, it's like me being the chief of my nation right now, which I am, okay? Women run the tribe. It's run by women. Clan mothers. You have your clan mothers. Women run the tribe. They are the nurturers, the life givers. without any of the women, and that, like I stated before, every nation on this Earth's mother right now, if it wasn't for the sacred feminine, there would be no nation on this mother. Without the life giver of your nation, of your people, you would not be here. That's why we hold to the drum so hard, because inside as we are being born, before we're born, we hear the heartbeat, which is the same as the drum. Every nation would not be here without the power of the woman. Period. So we are a matriarchal society. And if you look at modern society is a patriarchal run thing. Man run everything. How did they say it? Let your women be silent in church. Are you telling me that women cannot have a spiritual thought?
It's pretty crazy.
I'm a spokesman for my people. My clan mothers and the women run my nation. We took the matriarchal society when I became chief and turned it completely back to they run it, not me.
So you're actually, Twodog, are you actually free to run things as you see fit, or are you? I know in Canada, I've been told that the the leaders of the people here, a lot of them are basically government fronts. The Canadian government, back in 1910, they were at the point of a gun, barrel of a gun. They went around to all the different Indigenous people, and they said, "Okay, we are going to appoint the leaders of your tribes or of your nations." And it's been so they have a dual government structure. They have the one appointed by the government, and then they have the one that the people themselves appoint. Is it like that in the United States?
This is how my nation did it. This is how my nation actually did it. To be honest with you, I am now principal chief of my nation. I didn't even run. I didn't even run this. I didn't run.
You were asked. You were asked to be it.
They voted me in.
Yeah.
Now,
beautiful.
Here's the point about this. If there's anything to be done, for me to do, the people tell me, my clan mothers and my women and my people in the council, if this has to be done, they ask me to do it, and I do it for them. I'm just principal chief is how do I put it? I'm just a spokesman for my people. I'm there for them. I'm there to try to help them, but they help me. This is what my clan, if there was a war to go down right now in my nation, if I wanted to go to war, just say this. I cannot just say we're going to war. I have to stand in front of my clan mothers, and if they say no, it's no. Simple as that.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful statement.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem. Okay? With a lot of men like myself that's been a warrior since he was 4. All right? Here's the thing, the deal. A lot of men, what we think is with our fist. Okay? If something happens, first thing you want to do is hit at it. If it's at you, you want to hit at it. Women think with their heart. And that keeps a lot of wars away as far as First Nations.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. A lot of sense. Now, do you use the native? Do you have your native language still, or are you pretty much all speaking English on your nation?
Well, I do have several nations in me. I got a couple of nations in me. One of the things I could say to my brothers and sisters out there is, Osio, hello. Tohichu, how you doing? Ski, thank you for listening to me. And to my sister over here that is from another nation that I have in me also. Sagaliskanago, say go. As far as I'm New York Mohawk also, and North Carolina Salagi, as far as the Cherokee. But, that's some of my language.
So you're part of many nations.
Yes, I am. I have two nations in me. Now, the Western Lenape nation that I'm running is a state nation here in Kentucky. And we have just as much trouble with that as the nations that, you know what I'm saying, the federal nations and other things like that. We have just as much problem. Our nation has a lot of intertribal people. Plus, we have Lenape, Mohawk, Shawnee, Cherokee, Blackfeet. We have them all here.
And how many are in your nation? You consider to be in your nation?
Oh my God, we're a very small band right now, about 55 people.
55?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good. I think that's good. You become like brothers and sisters. You get to know one another. It's a more intimate arrangement.
One of the things of my vision, and I'm going to say this, I had a vision when I was 4 years old. And my grandfather heard me, so he took it to the elders that in the Indian town that I was living in. And what I stated was, I want you to hold your hand open. So hold your hand open, guys, just for a second and look at it. This came from me when I was 4. I said, if we do not unite and come together, this is how we're going to stay disconnected, not talking to each other. I said, now close your hand up into a fist. And they all closed their hand up in the fist. So brothers and sisters, close your hand up in the fist. If we all become like this, then we become united. We understand. We're able to talk with each other now. So basically, my vision was to bring the sacred sentiment back to our people and to bring unity back to the Indian nations, or try to bring the unity to the Indian nations, federal, state, non-recognized council, everything. In other words, to bring back that power to be able to understand that we can talk with each other without any of this, how I say it, long knife problem that we seem to come into.
Can you expand on that a bit, Twodog? What do you mean by that?
What, long knife?
Yeah.
The long knives, in my thinking, in my ways, the long knives were, how I put it, governmental thing like Washington, D.C. and their army. Because to be honest with you, it was their army that did most of the massacres on Turtle Island. Only thing you have to do is look at, I'm going to cuss for a second, so here I go. Andrew Jackson, there I did, and the Trail of Tears of the Salagi, or you go a little further up, let's see, Wounded Knee in 1890 when they shot 300 men, women, and children and put them all in a mass grave in 1890, as far as Chief Bigfoot's people that were coming in because, how I put it, one native individual was deaf. He couldn't understand them. And it exploded. Basic understanding of who and what we are here. And that we, if you come to me and you were New York Mohawk and I was, say, Eastern or Western Bad Cherokee, we can't sit down and talk with each other. But here's the thing. You got governmental school here. You had residential school in Kanakota as far as Canada is concerned. I hate to say this, brothers and sisters, but our spirit don't speak English.
Love it.
You know.
No, we should speak the universal language.
Well, I tell you what. Universal language, Brian. Let me go here. You want to go with universal language? I'm going to go with one universal language that I know. And the universal language is Brian Porter and me, Chief Twodog. One universal language. A smile and put your hand out to shake the hand of another individual, another human being. Now, one of the things is, in 1968, I was, 1968, I was 9 years old. And I marched in the Martin Luther King marches, in some of them, in my area.
Sorry, what kind of marches? I missed that. What kind of marches were they?
Was the Martin Luther King March.
Oh, okay, great.
Now, one of the things that I'm telling you, and the reason I'm saying this about Brother King, is this. What my vision was also is that we have to get away. We have to get totally away saying, oh, you're a red man, or you're a white man, or you're a black man, and you're a yellow man, to we're all human here. We're all brothers and sisters. Mitakwa ase oesen. We're all related. And it's not a color thing here. It's a human thing. No one is under me. No one is over me. I'm no better than you. We all love our children when we come home. Our women, our husbands, our wives, our children. We all laugh and cut up with our kids. We all have meals together. There's nobody different here. But there's that fear factor again that keep throwing at you that this one has to be killed because they don't believe as I do. Because you say Jesus and I have to walk on Tonka. It's the same entity. Or you say God and I say Gitchimani too. Great mystery.
Well, Twodog, why can't there be more than one God?
Well, see,
what's wrong with
thing,
that?
my brother.
Why can't we have I have a connection I have a connection to Pachamama, and she's told me that she spread many seeds of knowledge here. She wanted the thing that the Creator loves most is diversity. How many maple trees look the same? There aren't any maple trees that look the same, brother. They all are unique.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
We can have a million religions here.
So it doesn't matter, Brian, what you call, as long as you do.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. It matters that we have to understand that spiritually, if you think about it, we should still go back to what I call the system of the focus, brother, and go back to the mountain to get focus, because the human being in general, because of all this governmental crap that's going down, we're getting disconnected. We have to go back and get focused. The system of the focus, man, is to think and to understand that you're no better than that little bug that just flew past your nose. You are the same.
We're all equal.
Oh. That's what we need to understand.
I love it. Tibetan Buddhists. That's the first time I've heard that philosophy was when I studied Tibetan Buddhism, and I thought that was I was quite amazed. I was like in my 20s, and I thought, well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, a virus is
Here's
important.
a prophecy. Here's a prophecy I can give you, and I can give you two of them.
Beautiful.
Teshukawiko, the Lakota, you know him as Crazy Horse. Okay? And in the spirit of Crazy Horse, I do everything in the spirit of Crazy Horse. I have always been like that. But here's the thing that the big prophecy that he spoke of. He said one day, the children of the white man will come to learn what their ancestors would not. That's happening now. And that's with the Rainbow Warriors that also that Threecrow was talking about. Now, it also stated by one of my grandfathers. Here's what he stated. He said when the young people start wearing their hair long and start wearing necklaces, they will soon understand. So in a lot of ways, in the 60s, the hippies were trying to get connected. So the hippie were trying to be Indian too, isn't it?
I'm losing a bit there, Twodog.
So in a lot of ways, there was that connection.
I'm losing you. We're going to go on break soon. But can you the last few things you just said, it came through garbled.
Say again?
Yes. The last few things, if you could repeat them, it just didn't come through clear. For whatever reason, yourself.
You guys, maybe I'll call back. Yeah, we got like 1 minute before the break.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, I can go after the break then, I guess.
Yeah, I'll call you guys back after the break, but let's continue on for the next like 1 minute-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we are. I'm going to hang up the call. I'll call you guys right back.
Listening to Revolution Radio.
We're an anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week. Yes. But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting. Yes, I see. By a simple majority in the case of purely internal affairs. Be quiet. But by a 2/3 majority in the case of more... Be quiet. I order you to be quiet. Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look! It's just a flesh wound.
I don't believe I've seen such a display of courage, skill, nerve, grace, and stupidity.
I'll do you for that. You what? Come here. What are you going to do, bleed on me? I'm invincible. You're a loony. The Black Knight always triumphs.
Roundtable Live Monday through Friday, 1 a.m. till 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Bring your mind, bring your ideas, bring your voice. King Arthur had nothing on us. Here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com.
Welcome back to I Am Nature. Brian Porter, your host, is here, and I have Twodog, chief of the Western Lanape Nation, down in Kentucky, I believe. Is that where you're located right now, in Kentucky?
Yeah, I'm in Kentucky.
In Kentucky, okay, great. So, you kind of were breaking up there at the end of that last segment. I think you were talking about the second prophecy. Maybe you should start that one over again.
One of the prophecies of Crazy Horse.
Yeah, the second one, I think. The first one was about the white man wanting to become native again, reassume.
Well, here's what the prophecy stated. Crazy Horse's prophecy states this: the children of the white man will come to learn what their ancestors would not. So understand the Indian way. Their ancestors would not. Basically, if you look at if you go back and look in history as far as the hippie in the 60s, some of my grandfathers told me that when the young white children, when the young people start wearing their hair long and start putting on necklaces and walking around on their mother, then they will understand. And that happened in the 60s with the hippie movement. It made, you might go, oh, they were just druggies or whatever. No, they were trying to be connected. So they got to understand also. The only problem was the hippie was a little too pacifist, but still, they did get that understanding. They did understand that connection. I mean, look at the colonies that they made. They lived together.
Yeah, no, there's, have you heard of the Fellowship of Intentional Communities, which is quite prominent in the United States?
Yes, I've heard of it. I haven't been able to check it out too much.
Yeah, well, it's basically people wanting to return to the native way of living. A lot of them
if you really want to return to the native way of thinking, native way. This is what one elder told me a long time ago when I was young. Native way. Common, normal, everyday thinking. That's it. Now, one elder stated also that we were around. He said, to be Indian was to hug a tree. And we all looked at each other and went, uh-oh. We didn't know if the cat was flying or what, to be honest. And he stated it like this. The tree is a connection between earth and sky. When you walk up to it, hug it, sit underneath it, you lament better. And you do. You truthfully do. So the tree is a connection between earth and sky. But see, here's the thing about the tree. That people, you see people cutting the trees down left and right. Here's the thing that they don't seem to understand. Every time that tree exhales, we inhale what that tree exhales. Every time we exhale, that tree inhales everything we exhale. We breathe for each other. You cut down all the trees here, or all the trees, you're going to suffocate. What kind of insanity are you talking about? They were cutting the rainforest, and one chief came out, never even seen, I hate to say it like this, but he said, never even seen a white man in his life. They were cutting down the rainforest, and when he come out, they hung him. Because he couldn't understand why they were cutting down his home. And this is recent. So there's the problem.
It's the money god. We're worshiping the wrong god, eh? We're worshiping the money god and not the nature god.
I could put it to you like this. What I say, and this is just a joke on my end, but in reality, their God is turning into a green piece of paper with George W. Bush's mother on it. And if you look at George Washington and Barbara Bush, it's scary. But it looks like the same person. But their God has turned into a green piece of paper with some dead president on it. If you don't have it, you starve to death. If you don't have it, you die. They're not helping you. You see where I'm going?
You want to worship death, you end up with death. I mean, this is karma.
If you want to worship death, it's right in front of you. Now, here's what I've learned in my lifetime. What I've actually learned in my lifetime, people are going to think, well, I don't know about this under here. But I'm going to go and say it like this. If you listen to any of the late 80s, early 90s metal music that they actually put out there, these bands were telling you what was going on at the whole time. How do I put it? The whole world has kings and queens. They blind your eyes and steal your dreams. It's heaven and hell. What do you think they're saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's that. Even they understood that.
Oh, most definitely.
They are telling you what's happening. And everybody's going, oh, it's just loud. No, they're telling you exactly what's going down here. I hate to say it like that, but that's true.
So are you, I want to get to a practical question about you. I find there's some contradictions within the Native community itself. Like a lot of them see this, have this sort of apocalyptic vision of a big change coming, and maybe not being able to drink the water from the streams, and you need to have your own way of producing your food and stuff. Is your community right now off the grid, self-sufficient for food?
Yeah, my whole land where I'm at right now, to be honest with you, it wouldn't take very much to be self-sufficient. We have, we have our eggs here that our chickens are laying, actually. We actually are getting like berries and other things from the mother. The mother is sustaining us while we're out here. I can actually look at the top of my driveway, and they're like 12-point buck. We have deer, turkey. We have our own community garden here. Basically self-sufficient, yeah.
Beautiful. Good for you, because I don't see this in a lot of the indigenous communities in Canada. It's unfortunate. They're very much tapped into the Western way. But you see, you have a smaller community.
Here's the thing that I look at as far as the indigenous nation, the First Nations and stuff in Kanakota. I've been on this man for years now. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Harper states these things, right? You're not Anishinaabe, you're not Cree, you're not Mohawk, you're Canadian. Okay? And we've been having a whole lot of women go disappearing as far as First Nations women that have become disappearing out of Kanakota right now.
Yeah, I know. It's a real problem. It's very sad.
Not the nation. Well, see, Harper is blaming the nations. I guarantee you it ain't the nations. Now, to me, this is the only way I'm going to say it, is that you have a lot of First Nations in Kanakota. So that means for the Canadian government, to be honest with you, you can't go cut these trees down, and you can't do anything without going through First Nations first. Now, with them, and I'm going to state my government, my United States government in Canada too, and Mexico, wherever. Here's what I'm going to state it like this. When you go to cut my trees down, or you go to, do anything in nature, and, with my relations. In other words, if you cut down a tree for something, anything, just cutting the forest down, just say that. You call it what? What do they call it? Resources, right?
Yep.
To us, the grassroots in it, what I'm talking about, the traditional people, you're cutting my relations down, man. That's our relations. That's what that is. Because we don't take nothing no more than we need. They're overdoing it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful philosophy of life. It makes a lot more sense. A lot more sense. In my opinion, I know we talked about how everything's equal in the biosphere and under the reign of Pachamama, but trees and plants are quite remarkable when you think about the fact that they take nothing to exist. There's nothing. No. They need to do nothing to exist. The photosynthesis provides all the food they need. They're in perfect harmony with the universe. Animals, to me, seem to be less intelligent than plants. Does that make any sense to you? Because we have to kill one another to exist.
Let's look at it logically, okay? Completely logic, okay?
Yeah.
If you look at all of nature world, and I'm talking with the plants, the wingeds, the four-leggeds, the standing, the grass peoples, the fish peoples, in the seas and the waters, okay?
Yeah.
All of nature itself is not fighting. Only the two-legged.
Mm-hmm.
All of nature is still in that balance. The two-legged is the only animal, and you go, oh my God, we're human, we're not animal. Well, yes, you are an animal. You're a mammal, number one.
Yeah.
You're a two-legged animal.
We're a pack animal.
So, exactly. But here's the point. Here's my point. All of nature in itself is not fighting. The only one fighting is the two-legged animal, because we have gotten away from connection. Let's go a little biblical here. Genesis 2, go forth and tame the wilderness. Well, what they thought were Indian people live so close to nature, we have to tame them too. We lived with nature. So they thought they had to tame us too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, they developed this idea that they were superior to nature, and these are all very dangerous concepts, extremely dangerous.
Extremely, and they're still that way.
Oh,
they're
developing humans, Twodog. They're developing new species of humans. It's scary.
I'm wondering what they're going to be like.
What do you think transgenderism is all about? Accepting changing of people. We're going to be introduced to new species of humans, and if we don't like them, we're going to be told that we're discriminating against them.
Well, you know the thing about it, brother. How do I put this? My people, and I'm talking all First Nations, and I'm talking also the black man that's been here. How much do you want to be discriminated against? To be honest with you, I mean, to be flat honest, I live in the South. I've seen some crap that you wouldn't believe, man.
I believe it.
You know, I hate to say this, you know, ladies and gentlemen, but if you want the truth, I've been hung myself.
Wow.
So, you know, you get out as a kid and you fight in burial grounds, and if it wasn't for a poor black man, I wouldn't be here right now. They beat me and left me for dead years ago in the burial ground. And if it wasn't for a black man, I wouldn't be here right now. So as far as discrimination, we understand that. But it doesn't stop me talking about bringing humans back together, and I'm talking black, white, yellow, red, because like Barbie said a long time ago, you know, on this show, at one time, black, white, yellow, red around the world, you were all tribal people at one time. You had the tribes of Europe that, defeated Rome? So, the tribes of Europe.
How does native
Twodog,
how does native wisdom explain the different races? Is there stories about that? How they came to be?
Well, what was usually told to me, okay, and this has been around the world, because we have flood stories here just as the Bible did, okay? We have flood stories here too. That a lot of all life in itself, it started in Africa in itself.
Mm-hmm.
We all spread out. the people spread out from Europe, Africa, and I went to Europe, went to here, all over. Now, as far as many stories like that, I haven't heard very many. But I do know that all people started off from there, from my understanding.
So you think we were all once black, and now we've based upon maybe geographical differences in exposure to sunlight and whatnot, we've evolved into the different colors?
Could very well be. According if you hit a colder place, possibly.
Yeah.
But with my people, what was told to me was we as Indian people have always been here. My people have been here for over 130,000 years.
Yeah, the history is so much farther back than the one that Western history is just a joke. An absolute joke. 6,000 years.
Here's the problem with the history book, okay? Here's the problem with the history book. As far as the history book is concerned, the history is written by the victor.
Oh, yeah.
Never told anything else. Now, a lot of people they look at the picture, say, of let's just go here for a second. Custer, okay, and his long blonde hair, and he's shooting at the Indians, right? What was told to me was Custer cut all his hair off, and we still don't know why. The Lakota still don't know why, all right? Before the battle. A 12-year-old Lakota boy shot him off his horse, from my understanding. And when he stood up, he shot himself in the head. Does that tell you that he's shooting at people like that? And this is coming from people that had relations in the battle. So he stood up and shot himself in the head.
Is this Custard or the boy? Custard or the boy?
Custer.
Oh, okay.
Custer. He shot himself in the head, according to what I'm hearing.
So that he killed himself, basically, is what you're saying.
Yes. Basically killed himself. Well, I mean, I wasn't at the battle, I can't tell you, but that's from some of the people whose ancestors was at that battle. So,
yeah, are you proud of the fact that you, Twodog? Are you proud of the fact that you belong to a culture of people who know how to live on this planet, know how to walk softly here, and know that it's really the only way to live that's going to make sense, that ever will work here?
Well, I can say it like this, my brother. I can say it like this. I'm proud of the fact of number one is that I'm a child of the Creator. Okay? I'm very proud to be part of this Earth Mother. And I'm very proud of being who and what I am. And whether you've come from the European people, the Asian people, what I call the black people, or the brown people, I don't care if you're purple polka dotted. Be proud of who you are, because this is who you are, and this is your time now. And what you do in this time. Because this is an old Lakota proverb that states like this: you will be known by the tracks you leave behind you. What do you want to be known? Do you want to be known as somebody that don't care? Or do you want to be known as somebody that stood up and been a warrior and said, no more? No more hurting my grandmother. No more hurting my grandparents. No more hurting my daughters, my sons, my relations. And what I'm stating is, I've been standing for years. Since I was 4 years old. I'm 56. I've been standing since I was 4, going, don't touch my women. Don't beat on my women no more. Because they're the life givers. Without them, you would not be here.
I love your approach. I love your philosophy, Twodog. I consider you a brother as well. I'm sorry, but our time has come to an end here today. But we'll hopefully stay in touch, and I'd love to get you two back on again.
I'd love to I'd be honored to come back.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we didn't get into that I wanted to. So I love your philosophy. As I said, it's the only one that works. It's the only one that will ever work here because we are nature. We are meant to live and love in harmony with the mother. All right, take care, my brother. Thanks so much for coming on. Bye for now from Brian Porter and I Am Nature.
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio.